So the game hasn't even come out yet, and there's already a few things to be concerned about with Call of Duty World War II. And want to just go over a couple of those real quick. I'll just go and get the main one that's really got my attention out of the way now. The fact that the supply drops. The developers even said themselves on the last Game Informer podcast where they were talking about the new Call of Duty. They said within the first launch window or the first couple weeks of release that supply drop items will be period specific, quote fingers, and after that it's kind of anybody's guess, which is, if you've been paying attention to the last few Call of Duty games since the first one Sledgehammer Games did, Advanced Warfare, the company that more or less invented the supply drop for Call of Duty, you already know either one of two things, if not both things, are going to happen. Either variants, which they're also known for, especially game-altering variants, might come into the picture after the quote-unquote launch window, or they're going to go the Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Reimagined route and start slapping weapons in the game, which hopefully, well actually, you know what, I can say hopefully that won't happen, but at the same time, is myself or anyone else going to be surprised if we happen to see some weapons in the game somewhere down the line? Because in Black Ops 3 it didn't take long. All those things started out as cosmetic only, and it was like a few months before DLC weapons popped into the picture. Because I know it did not take long. It didn't take long at all, really. I think maybe at most it was maybe 6 months, maybe a year, if we're being generous. And that's when they had weapons that were actually sought after, like the better end of the range weapons. And at first I was like a little bit upset about this, but still at the same time, it's like you can't be surprised by this anymore, because it's very, very obvious at this point that microtransactions and supply drops and COD points, all that stuff, are rapidly outselling DLC. So honestly, I think you'd be hard pressed at this point to find anyone. Anyone might be a bit of a exaggeration, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find a majority of people that either got just COD points to open supply drops to get weapons and bought the DLC, because I doubt that people really bought both this time around, because the majority of the extra money that's coming into these games rather, is coming directly from supply drops. It's a known fact they are making millions of dollars off of supply drops, but question is how much they're making off DLC, or is anybody really even buying it these days? Because I see them giving free weekends for DLC maps away all the time, but it's only free weekends. I'm honestly quite surprised they haven't gone the route just make all the DLC free and just charge for supply drops, since that's where all the money's coming from anyway. But enough about that. I think we've already beat that dead horse for far too long. So the other thing that's kind of interesting about COD World War II, aside from the fact it's going to be boots on the ground, that the hype for this game is super real right now. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are very, very highly anticipating the beta that's going to be starting next week for PS4, starting on the 25th, and the Xbox One beta will be the following week, and then the PS4 people basically get another beta. So essentially the PS4 lot gets 2, and us Xbox Microsoft plebs get 1. Cool. The good old trade agreements. Good look, Activision. But the other thing that's going to be coming to the game is, aside from all the stuff that's going to be quote fingers, once again not historically accurate, the soldiers, as far as like the lady soldiers, I know that's like a whole nother topic and conversation in itself, but I can't really tell if people are like actually upset about that, or if they're just trolling. Because honestly, that's kind of it's one of those things you would think people wouldn't really care. So I want to say, weren't there female soldiers in Battlefield 1 as well? But honestly, well, in the story bits, yes, but in the actual multiplayer, like, honestly, I don't think there were. I'm gonna have to go back and check my notes and check some gameplays to see if there were even had the option to have female characters in Battlefield, because I'm not sure if you could or not. But the fact that they're going to be in COD World War II, it's got some people forming some opinions, like myself. Like, I'm really not going to say anything until I actually get my hands on this thing, at least on the beta, in a couple more weeks here, so I actually can form up my own thoughts about it. just because I'm not really trying to jump on anybody else's coattail, you know what I mean? And all in all, like, I know there's some things to be concerned about, absolutely. One of these score streaks are going to be decent. The weapons so far that have been rumored to, and some of which have been confirmed, like, it seems like there's going to be a decent amount of stuff to play around with. All the factions are going to be available, so more or less you have classes this time as opposed to the ordinary way they have most Call of Duty games set up. So I mean, there's going to be some things to check out and try to digest and see is it going to work or is it not going to work. Because trying to play Black Ops 3, like, I have a love-hate relationship with that game, but Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered, or Reimagined, whatever the fuck you want to call it, both those games are flat-out garbage. Like, garbage. I tried playing both of them again recently. Did not enjoy it. Did not have a good time. There's just so much just crap that's just shoehorned in that game. It just... You know, you can't pour I just fucked up the quote. You can't pour syrup on shit and call it pancakes, okay? And that's how I feel about Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. But, again, new game, hopefully new experience, hopefully a good one. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks again, y'all, for checking out the video. This is Sketch, and I'm out. Be easy.